Muhammad and Nida Masud to continue ahead. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Aman. Thanks so much. So I'm going to quickly share my screen, but before that, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, from wherever you are attending this session. Thank you so much for taking out the time on a Saturday uh, to attend this session. So the topic that me and Nida are going to present is building blocks to a successful CPQ implementation. And me personally, I'm a 3x Salesforce certified developer, and one of those certifications includes CPQ specialist. And I've been part of a few CPQ implementation in the past year, and I can share my experiences as well with the whatever implementation that we've done. But the main topic or the main idea of this presentation is to basically um, let you know or just introduce you to what is CPQ, what are the different aspects or what are the different functionalities that CPQ provides you out of the box. We will not dive very deep into each functionality. We'll just cover the very basics of it. Our aim is to complete this presentation and give you guys some time if you guys have any Q&A. And then like Aman said, at the end we will run the raffle. So just let me quickly share my screen and Aman, please let me know when my screen is visible to everyone.
Sure. Yes, Amar, we are able to see your screen.
All right. So let me just quickly go back to the start. Yeah, so starting off with the very basic, of course, the configure price code. CPQ stands for configure price code. And what each aspect basically defines is configure is you set up your product catalog basically. You have different products. Let's say you've got hundreds of products. You set up those products. You define relationships between different products. And once you define that relationship, that is the configure part in the CPQ. That is the C of the CPQ. You define a certain price of that product. That price could be the list price. You could be charging a price in a certain or with a different pricing method as well. So that would be the P or the pricing of the CPQ part of the CPQ. And then once you've set up your product catalog, you've configured, you've set up its price, you will configure your code. And in that code, you will obviously be creating some code line items. You will be configuring those code line items according to the business needs or the requirements that you're sending out your code to. And once that's done, you'll just generate a PDF document and you'll quickly send out that code to whatever customer. And then from there onwards, it's business as usual. Once the code gets accepted, you can create a contract. You can create an order according to whatever your business process is.
Sorry for the interruption, Amar, but is it just me, everyone, or anybody can see his screen? Because I can see only a black screen right now.
Aman, is my screen visible to you?
Yeah, the screen is visible to me. I can read it as it is displayed properly.
Okay. Could you please confirm this from the rest of the attendees? Can they see my screen?
I can see the mixed answers. Like some of them are saying we can see the screen. Mohammed, do one thing. Just reshare it again.
Okay.
Stop
All right.
sharing and start again.
All right. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Nada. So why Salesforce CPQ? Um, this is one of the questions that gets asked a lot by us as consultants from our clients, and the main reason why you would use CPQ is it depends on obviously on your business requirements. If your business requirements are very complex, if your coding calculations, if your pricing calculations and everything are complex and cannot be achieved from out of the box codes or the standard codes that Salesforce provides, then obviously you will go for CPQ. In one of the in one of the pre-sales calls that I was part of a few months ago, this question came up. One of the clients or a potential client asked us this question: that why should I be using CPQ when my requirements could be met by the standard coding functionalities as well? So we were just doing a small discovery session with that potential client, and with whatever requirements he had, what they had were totally uh, were achievable basically from the standard coding functionality. But he was basically looking for tiered pricing, and he wanted to have a pricing he basically wanted to have a different method than the usual Salesforce pricing method that we define in a price book entry, that is our price. He wanted to have a different pricing method. He wanted to have tier level pricing, that if our quantity is from 0 to 100, this should be the price that I should be charging. From 100 to 200, this should be the price I should be charging. So all of his requirements were achievable from the standard coding, but the pricing, the actual pricing of the code line items, that was the most important aspect of his business, was only achievable using the CPQ block pricing functionality. We will be talking about the different pricing methods later on in the session, but just to give you an idea that how you can basically differentiate between standard coding functionality and a CPQ, and why would you need a CPQ functionality from Sales that Salesforce provides. Why a CPQ? Like I said, obviously with the if you've got a complex requirement or complex pricing rules or pricing calculations, obviously CPQ provides you and provides you that platform of functionality to build all of those functionalities out of the box. So it will help your sales rep close deals fast. And once those deals are closing fast, obviously it will have a positive impact on your business. Nida, do you want to take from here?
Yes, thank you, Amar. Well, um, so to start with, we have differentiations between the standard code and the CPQ code. So, uh, sorry, unshared your screen, Amar?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yep. So in the standard code, we have simple price books having their list price and the basic functionality of discount that we can only give a percentage discount in your standard code. We cannot give a dollar discount or a value list price discount in the standard CPQ in the standard code. However, in CPQ, you can have your price rules. That means parameter based pricing. Different parameters or variables can affect your pricing. Your product rules, different products can be added or have bundles in CPQ. Then you have your orders and contracts that can be later amended and have renewals on them. And then you have advanced approval processes, which we will explain later in the slides. So the main to start with the main CPQ features, the first one is the bundles, that you can have a group of products or a collection of them to be sold together to the as your business logic is there. So for example, you go to purchase a mobile, and then you want to have different accessories attached to it, for example charger, headphones, or memory card. And then you have your quantity relationships accordingly. For example, with one cell phone purchase, you will only get one headphones. However, if a company is giving you two headphones per a cell phone, so if you increase your cell phone quantity in the codes, the quantity relationship will increase accordingly. For example, if you change your cell phone quantity to 2, your headphone quantity will automatically change to 4. So suggested products will your upsell products will be attached to it. For example, if if a buyer is purchasing a laptop, so you can give him a mouse or a keyboard, or additional accessories like camera. So all these upselling products can be attached to it as well. And then you have two types of buttons, for example, a static bundle and a configured bundle. A static one will not be edited in the code lines, and the other one will be editable for you to change the quantity or the list price. Next, yes, options and features. For example, an option is basically a product that can be optional to the bundle, and the feature is organized as bundle. For example, if you can see, if you are purchasing Apple iPhone, then the feature would be your memory card, your headphones, your mobile cases. So you have different options for different features. Like you can see in your headphones, you can have AirPods or earpods, power beats. You have different options for different features.
Basically, just to clarify this one, features basically categorizing your different options. So let's say you've got multiple options under memory card. So what you can do is you can categorize all those options in a different section so that all of the memory cards appear or are visible to your sales reps or your agents in a single screen or in a single view, so that they don't have to go in and search by product family or anything. It will basically categorize and provide you a display or view that will be categorized for your memory cards, for your headphones, mobile cases, and whatever products that you're selling. And this is one of the examples. This is what the screen would look like, obviously. uh, so over here, these are the different features that you can create from in CPQ, taking the previous example. So memory cards, headphones, mobile cases. So I selected this bundle, Apple iPhone X package, and from here I have three different options. I can have memory cards, headphones, mobile cases. So I don't have to go in and search for my products. I don't have to scroll through a long list of products. I can just simply click on memory cards, and this will be memory cards and then headphones or mobile cases. So in this scenario, the screenshot suggests that headphones are selected. So it's showing me all of the possible options that I can have for this package or for this bundle and I can select a headphone from it. Yes, Nida.
Yes, and for the guided selling, um, you can set up different questions for your field reps or your customer to answer those questions, and then you can filter out your products according to their requirements. For example, you can have your memory question, your color related questions for your mobiles, and you can differentiate your products on the basis of those questions, so your products will be filtered out for them. So this is basically guided selling, that you filter out products on the basis of each question.
Yes. Moving forward, the product rules. So, uh, the standard CPQ that the functionality that they provide are product rules, and this is not something that you'll get in the standard codes. So CPQ provides this functionality of different types of product rules that you can have. So let's say you're configuring a bundle, and you want to have some sort of validation. So normally you create validation rules. CPQ provides you this functionality of creating their own validation rules, and basically what will happen is, let's say if you're configuring a product and you're configuring a bundle, and for some reason you miss out a product that is required for that bundle. So you can create a validation rule for your agent, so that in case that they miss out on a product that is important or that should be suggested to upsell, you can create a validation rule that this product cannot be sold with this product option or something like that. So when you are creating a quote and when you're configuring your bundle, if you try to save a quote without that product, it will throw you a validation and will not allow you to save a quote. So it's basically the same concept of the validation rule that Salesforce provides. Very similar to it is the alert product rule. So alert product rule will do the same for you. It will show you a message on the screen that this product should be selected with, or we suggest you to select this product with the parent product. But the difference between alert and validation is alert will allow you to save. It will only show you a message. It will only alert you, but it will allow you to save the code. Unlike validation, because in validation you are not allowed to save a code. The selection is basically your products could get auto selected. So let's say you have created a bundle and you want your products to be auto selected. You can create a selection rule. You can enable disable option based on whatever bundle you're configuring, and you can create a selection rule for that. The last one is the filter. So let's say you are configuring a dynamic bundle. You don't want to have a static bundle. You want to configure a dynamic bundle. So let's say you have different hardware products that you want to configure. So you're selling a parent product, and you want your agents to select from a long list of products. You want your agent to select uh, a dynamic bundle. You want your agent to create a bundle on the fly. There is no bundle that has been created previously. You want your agent to create a bundle on the fly. So the filter option will allow you to create those dynamic bundles, and your agent can go in and will have different categories of bundles created for them, and they can just simply go in and select what bundle they would like to have with that parent product, what different product options they would like to include with that parent product. You don't have to necessarily define a static bundle for your agents. A dynamic bundle using this filter functionality from the product rules can be configured. Pricing rules are pretty much the same, but they don't have different types like product rules. Product rules are basically when you're configuring your product. Pricing rules are more of a when you're calculating the price. Once you've selected the products, now it's time to calculate its price, and pricing rules basically helps you in that scenario. So a pricing rules basically comprises of three different aspects. It could have a price condition, it could have a price action, and it will have some lookup queries. So let's say you have a pricing table that you have created, and there are different aspects that will affect the price of the mobile phone. Let's say my storage will affect the price of my mobile phone. I am a buyer who wants to purchase a mobile phone. So if I want to buy a 256 GB storage of mobile phone, obviously it will have a different price than let's say a 512 GB or more than that. So you can have different pricing based on the different aspects of your products. So the lookup data will help you in that. So you can basically create a custom object inside Salesforce. You can define different aspects or different parameters for that product, and based on that you can define a certain price in that custom object. And what will happen is you will define a pricing condition in the price rules. Once you configure that code with that product, the pricing conditions or the price rules will run. They will go to that custom object using the lookup queries that you will define. They will search for the specific parameters, and based on those parameters, it will perform a price action that will give you the price based on whatever selections you've done on your code for your code line item. So let's say you've selected 256 GB of storage. The price will run. It will go to the custom object using the lookup queries or the lookup data. It will search for the 256 GB. What is the price that is being stored against against that 256 GB, and it will automatically show you that price on the quote line items. Your agent does not have to go in and calculate. All he or she has to do is just hit that calculate button, and price rules will do their magic. Different pricing methods, like previously explained by Nid as well. There's not a single pricing method in not there's no one pricing method in CPQ. CPQ provides you different pricing methods. So in standard quotes, you only get the list price. But in CPQ, you obviously have the list price here, where you will just simply do your price book entries, and that price will be charged whenever you're creating a quote. Then you've got block pricing, what I've explained previously. The requirement that our potential customer had was tier level pricing. So let's say if you're selling a product with a quantity from 0 to 10, you want to charge $2 for that. But if you're selling the same product with quantity more than 10, you will charge 1.5 or $1.75 for that. So CPQ provides you that functionality inbuilt to have the block pricing. Then we have the option pricing overriding. So let's say a product, you have created a product inside Salesforce, and you have defined a list price for that. You have done a price book entry. Let's say that price book entry is $4, but that product is part of a bundle. And when you want to sell that product individually, that product will be sold as $4. But when you're selling that product as part of the bundle, you can use this over option pricing override option or pricing method. And when you'll be selling the same product as a bundle, you can basically reduce the price or whatever. You can make the price from $4 to $2. So when you're selling the product individually, you're charging $4 for that, and when you're selling that as an option for a bundle, the price could be overridden. Cost plus markup pricing is basically you're having a markup. You're selling your price at a predetermined cost, or you're selling your product at a predetermined cost, and you can add markup to it, and it will basically allow your sales rep to add a value from whatever product cost that you're selling. So let's say you have a partner that you're selling your product at a predetermined cost. You can add your markup and basically show that difference on the quote, that this product we're selling you this product at a predetermined cost, but this is the markup that we're charging. Obviously, when you generate a PDF document of that code. Just to give you a quick idea of percent of total. So percent of total is also one of the pricing methods. So percent of total basically helps you in it's a very different pricing method, and I'm not really sure. And personally, I haven't used this sort of pricing method so far in whatever implementations I've done, but I'm sure there would be a lot of use cases for it. So percent of total would be, let's say you buy a pizza for 15 euros. So delivery would be a separate line item. Let's say you want to include obviously the delivery in your in your line items as well. So delivery would be a separate line item. So you will not be charging, or you will not be setting up a price for delivery inside your CPQ or inside your price book. What you will do is you will define this product as a percent of total of pizza. So anytime a pizza gets selected, 10% of whatever the price of that pizza would be charged automatically for the delivery. So in this case, the pizza is 15 euros, and the delivery product that will get automatically selected will take whatever the price of this pizza is. So in this case, it's taking 1.5 euros, obviously. And let's say you're ordering pizza with extra cheese, so 15 plus 4, 19 euros, 10% delivery will automatically update it to 1.9 euros. So you're basically the price of a certain product is dependent on the parent product, and it will charge a percentage of the parent product, whatever percentage you define it to be, 10%, 12%, 15%, 5%, whatever percentage that you define. This is something that could be very helpful for business, for food chains. And yeah, you will not get these functionalities in the standard coding. You will only get that using the out of the box CPQ functionalities. Yes, Nada.
Well, starting with product catalog, this is the first step to your CPQ implementation, that you define your products and your collection of it. So the first input you will be taking from your to your system is your products, how you set them up, and then obviously on the same product record, you we define that whether it would be a subscription or an asset. We'll define what subscription and assets are later in our slides, but and how they are renewed. So the basic concept starts with your product catalog, how they are defined and collected as bundles in subscriptions or assets. The next is code line editor. This is basically the main screen that is used in CPQ. This is where you edit your products, you add, you remove them, you apply discounts and markups, and then you calculate price for your code. It has several buttons that can help you, that are add products, calculate, delete lines, groups, save, or reset discounts. You can also have add custom uh, pr- um, add custom buttons and rename these labels. Well, this is how your code line editor would look like. As you can see, you have these standard buttons: add products, add group, delete lines, quick save, calculate. These are the basic buttons that you get out of the box. And the layout that you can see, you have product code, name. This is the basic product code drawer that you can see. And this is how you manage your code. First is add products. This is how you can add products to your code. This is the standard button, and can have custom actions related to this standard button as well. What it does is it add products to your code from the product lookup. And you can also have your favorites added to your code, uh, specified previously, and you can upgrade your assets. If you have, for example, already created a contract, you can upgrade your assets, their quantities and everything. You can renew your subscriptions by renewing your contract and adding more products, or um, adding more added subscriptions. Yeah. But calculate, what it does, that it calculates your total pricing and quantities to your code, that it adds all the relevant price rules and product rules to the price, and then recalculate all the product code prices that is there after you make the changes. Then you have delete lines that you can select all the lines, or you can select specific ones and click delete lines, delete to delete all of them. Then you can add product groups into it. For example, you can add a bundle or a group from to your code, and applying all the discounts and the list price that are added to those products, are organizing them into groups, so you can have different groups. For example, you have different mobile sets or laptops for your different companies, so you can have different groups for each of the laptops. Then you have two buttons that are save and quick save. The main difference between save and quick save is, for example, you are still working on the code and you don't want uh, your progress to get lost somewhere. You simply go and click quick save without leaving the entire code line editor screen. You will save your changes, but if you click on save, you'll get back to the main code detail page. Then you have reset discounts and sketch and cancel. For example, you have applied all your discounts and then you remember, no, this is something that have to be changed, and so you can just click on reset discounts and cancel. So without further changes, only the discount features will be removed, and it will come back to the list prices.
Yeah, these were the standard or the most important features that you normally get on the code line editor. Like Nita said, this is basically what CPQ sells, or this code line editor screen is where actually the CPQ magic happens. When you've done your configuration of the products, when you've defined a certain price for it, this is where the actual magic then happens on the code line editor. Some additional functionalities that you get on the code line editors, I'm going to be quickly going through that. So you can just simply clone those line items. So if I can just quickly show you this screen. So over here, you have these different options or different functions when you're viewing a certain code line editor. So this option, when you click on this option, it will automatically clone this laptop 15-inch line item for you. And all of the configurations of this line item will be automatically copied over as well. So you don't have to go in and basically create a new line item and just go back to the add products and then configure a laptop, 15-inch laptop once again. You simply just have to click on the screen, and this line item with each of its product, with each of its configuration, will be cloned over for you automatically. If you want to make changes in that clone line item or in this individual line item, and you're not comfortable, or you just want to review whatever the selections were done in configuring this 15-inch laptop, here's this reconfigure line button that will help you in doing that. So when you hit this button, it will automatically take you back to the product configuration. You can review those configuration, you can make those changes if there are any changes needed, and then you can just simply save your code. Update standard button labels using custom actions. So CPQ provides this functionality of updating the labels of these buttons. So add products, add groups, delete lines. Let's say my business use case is my business don't call products. They provide services, they provide benefits. I can just simply update the standard label that CPQ provides. And there's this different object, custom action, where all of those labels are stored. All you have to do is you just have to go in, update the label in that custom object, and the change will be automatically reflected for you. Very simple, very easy to do, and you can just simply update the standard labels that CPQ provides and create your own labels according to your business needs or business requirements. Code line editor drawer and optimize column width. So optimizing column widths basically provides you this functionality of saving whatever column widths that you set. So let's say you've got a short description field that you want to include in your code line editor. Obviously, that field should be a little more wider or a little more larger than a field, let's say a quantity field that should not be taking a lot of space on your screen, because the more columns that you fit in within the screen, so your agent does not have to scroll left and right a lot of times, or up and down. So the more columns you fit in within the screen would be more helpful for your agent to when they're configuring or finalizing a code. So you can adjust your column widths based on whatever the length of that field is. And code line editor drawer is basically this is here's this drop down button on each code line item, and once you hit this drop down button, it will open up a code line drawer for you, and over here you will have all the fields that are not really important but relevant for this certain code line item. So the fields that you cannot include here in the top columns, you can basically have those fields hidden over here. So let's say your agent wants to view um, the rest of the fields or the rest of the functionality or the detail of the pricing. He or she can just simply click on this drop down, and everything that is related to this specific product will be shown up. The limitation is this cannot be dynamic, this is static. So let's say you've got different products and you've got different attributes for those products. The code line editor drawer does not support that. It has this limitation of you can only add a certain fields to it, and it will be static for all of your products. It will not vary from product to product. This code line editor will only have certain fields that would be defined in a certain field set. Dynamic field sets based on type of your code. So let's say you've got different types of code that you create. You've got your new business code, you've got your amendment codes, and then your renewal code. So uh, when you're renewing a code, you want certain fields to be hidden from this code line editor. You don't want your agents to be updating, let's say, the quantity. When you're creating a new business code, when you're sending out the code for the first time to your client, you want this quantity field to be visible. But when you're creating a renewal code for that same client, you don't want this field to be visible. So CPQ provides this functionality of edit field set name. So based on whatever type of code you're creating, let's say you're creating a renewal code. Once you create a new code and then you basically go to a code line editor from that code, since that code is a renewal code, this quantity section or this quantity column will be hidden and it will not be visible. But if you're creating a new business code, and when you go to that code line editor from that code, this quantity field will be visible. So your columns could be dynamic. You can create different dynamic columns, but based on a certain type of code or a certain type of condition that you will define. I personally prefer types of codes, but whatever business case for you would be. But there should be a certain condition that should be defined. That's my lab.
Well, we all have sort of subscriptions, like we do go to subscribe Netflix and everything. So we subscribe for their products, and we renew that for a timely basis for either monthly or annually. So all those products that are subscribed and renewed at a person's time or a year long support service, it is basically called subscription, and it is priced at by two types. Either it's fixed price or a percent of total. For example, fixed price will be the same price you're going to pay for the subscription for monthly basis. Either it's $10 or $20. And as the percent of total explained by Amar, it would be some percentage of the code or the list price of that specific product. And the assets, these are basically all the non-subscription products that are coded and sell to your customer. For example, it can either be a type that you're not renewing it or anything, but it could be of three types: one per unit, one per code line, or it could be none. When you're creating a contract and finishing your code, your products, your code lines will be converted into your assets. So one per unit means all your quantities. For example, you have 4 mobile phones in your code. So your assets will be converted as one per unit. So your 4 assets will be created. And then if you have one per code line, so if you have one code line with 4 quantity, only one asset will be converted and has 4 quantity in it. And then there will be none converted into an asset. It would be rather a subscription or anything else.
Yeah. So uh, other than CPQ, if you go for a different edition of CPQ, CPQ provides you advanced approvals, and advanced approvals is basically a different package. It's part of CPQ, but it's a different package that you have to install in your Salesforce org in order to utilize these key features. So advanced approvals, basically Salesforce CPQs provide this functionality of more complex approval processes. Most of your approval processes could be achieved, or your approval could be achieved using the standards approval processes. But if you've got some complex workflows, or you want your approvals to be you want your codes or contracts to be approved by different approvers, or delegated approvers, or things like that, you can use this advanced approval. So one of the main key features that advanced approval provides are the smart approvals. So let's say uh, I am one of the approvers and there's a second approver. So smart approval will basically provide us this functionality. If I have approved the code and for some reason Nida thinks that this code should not be approved or it should be rejected, she can just simply reject that code, and it will the agent will be notified. And the second time the agent configures and sends out that code for approval, it will skip Amar, because Amar has already approved that code using smart approvals, and will directly send it to Nida, so that only she can approve that code. And using the smart approval functionality, we can basically achieve this. Delegated approver is for the approvers. Let's say Nida is one of the approvers, and she's out of office for a few weeks, so so she can define a certain delegated approver in her place, since she's out of office, and when she can come back, she can take over from him or her. Replacing approver is a functionality, because approver is in advanced approvals or in CPQ. Approver is a separate record inside Salesforce CPQ. So approver is basically an object where you're creating an approver records. So rather than going into each approval process one by one, you can just simply go to that approval process, and you can just simply go to that approver record and then just update or remove that approver from all of the approval processes, or mark that approver as inactive, or that this user should not be allowed to basically approve for certain approval processes. This is a view for the advanced approval. So this is basically an approval chain that has been created. So the first step would be that the approval will go to whatever the code type would be. If it's a legal, if you're sending out to legal clients, or it's if you're sending out to your customers that basically buy your products. So you can follow, this chain will be followed. So it will be approved by the three, and then in the second step it will be a different user, and in the final step it will be the CEO that will be approving the code. And this is basically a quick glimpse of what the advanced approval could look like. The contract amendments and renewals. So if you're using the Sales Cloud or standard Salesforce, the functionalities that you get, you create a standard code, you create an order from it if that's your business case, and then you create a contract from that. There's no functionality of automatically or amending or renewing contract, or basically doing that easily. You might have to go in and write Apex triggers or create some flows for that, but CPQ provides you this functionality with just a click of a button. So on a contract record, you will have this amend button that will be visible to you and your agent. All you have to do is you just have to simply click on that amend button. In the background, CPQ will automatically take all of the line items of that contract. It will create an amendment opportunity in the background. Those amendment opportunities will have all the opportunity products that were part of your contract, and then an amendment code will be automatically created, and then that code will also have those code line items. So in the background, CPQ is doing a lot. By just a click of a button, you're creating 4 different records in the background, and all you have to do is you just have to make your changes, and then send that amendment code out to your client again, and then create a contract. The difference between amendments and renewal is the processes are the same. In the renewals, it will also happen that you will a renewal opportunity products code line items will get automatically created. The only difference between the two is when you amend your contract, it will not create a new record for you inside Salesforce. It will update the same contract record. But when you're renewing it, it will create a different contract record, and so that your first contract gets expired, and now it's a new renewal contract or a new record that gets created inside Salesforce. That would not be the case in amendments. In amendments, the same contract record that you previously had will be visible to you and will be amended. Nita.
Contracted pricing. Well, when you are selling a contract to your customer, or you're quoting a customer, for example, uh, uh, a customer is a very loyal customer of yours, and for a product, usually the list price would be $440. But since the relationship is really good, and you know that he or she is a loyal customer, you give them special discounts. For example, either you could give 10% discount, or you could give $400 for that product, or you can have different types of discounts specific to that customer only. That is basically contracted pricing. This is basically this special price that you give to your customer, to that specific customer. And the main benefit is that every time the code will be created for that specific customer, the list price that was saved as contracted pricing will be used to every quote or every contract that will be created for that account, or if it's amended or renewed. This is the basic screen that you could see for contracted pricing, that you could give a discount or special price to it, and the discount schedule related to this contracted pricing as well. Discount schedule is basically the volume discount or the tier discount that we were talking about in our previous slides, that you can give either percentages of discounts per tier or amounts of currency or as a discount. And there could be two types of discount schedule, either range or slab. And then you can have different discount units that either you could give a percentage discount or an amount discount. This is how your discount editor slide could be seen, that you could see your slabs or your tiered. The first level is from lower bound 100 to upper bound 200, and you're giving 10% discount of this first level. And then in the second level, you can leave the upper bound empty. Your first upper bound and the second lower bound should be same, and then you can add your discount percentage to that schedule. Later, Later, you can see that we have different types of discount schedule, range or slab. For example, if you have ordered 30 products, all those 30 products will receive 30% discount, because it is lying between the upper bound or the 30% discount range. However, in slab, if you have purchased 30 products, the first 10 products or the first 9 products will receive 10% discount. The other 10 products or 10 units will receive 20% discount, and the rest, the leftover 10 will get 30% discounts as per the tiers have defined. And then you can give, as I already said, that have tier discount. I was explaining as percentages. You can give either, for example, the first 10 products will receive this much price, or the list price. You can see, for example, if the 30 products will have either the full $450, the entire discounted price, or you can have percentage discount for every slab or every range of the tier.
Yes, thank you, Nida. So that's everyone. That's pretty much it. And if you guys have any questions, Aman, you want to take over from here?
So, people, if you have any questions, you can just start posting out in Q&A section. Speakers, we will wait for 2 minutes,
Sure.
okay, and then I'll share my screen, and then we'll announce the Rafale winner.
Great.
So, Amar, there is a question from Asim Ansari. She's asking, what happens when slab discount schedules align with block prices?
Okay. So Asim, the slab discounts, basically what will happen is, so in block pricing, normally what happens is you charge a certain price, and basically it will work. It will work in a certain way. So let's say you've got block prices, you've got 30 units that you're selling, and you're selling those 30 units, and that the range that you've defined is 20 to 30, you will charge $10. If you've got slab discount schedules implemented for that, It will take into account the slab discounts as well. So let's say for 20 to 30 units, you're charging a 10% discount. So the difference between the block pricing and the discount slab discount schedule is the block pricing is works pretty much like the range discount schedule. So it will not take into account the previous 10 to 0 to 10, 10 to 20 units, whatever the prices was. It will only charge you in that specific region or in that specific tier that you are. But the discount for that, for those number of units, will be applied based on the slab discount schedules. Hope that answers your question.
Thanks, Amar. So we'll wait for the another questions.